Hello everyone, today we're going to discuss about tree traversal. For that we need to know what a tree is. Fundamentally, the basic concept for a tree represents for a particular node there could be multiple children but there would be a single parent for each node. Here in the following examples, 10 is the root as it has no other parent. 4 and 20 are the children of 10. This part is the left subtree following it's in the left side and this part is the right subtree following it's in the right side. 2, 7, 15 and 30 are the leaf nodes as they have no other children. Now tree traversal. Tree traversal basically means to visit each node of a tree. So visiting each node means visiting the root node, left subtree and the right subtree. Primarily, visiting a node means reading or processing the data of the node, and visiting a subtree means visiting all the nodes of the subtree. So essentially, there are three ways to traverse a tree: pre-order, in-order, and post-order. Now I'm going to discuss about the pre-order traversal. In this traversal method, the root node is visited first, then the left part, and then the right part. Now in this example, we could see that 100 is the root, so it gets visited first. Then we move to the left subtree, where 50 is the root, so it would get visited after. Then we move to the left part of 50, which is this part. So after that, 40 is the root, so 40 gets visited after. Then again we move to the left part, which is 30, so 30 gets visited after. As 30 has no other left part, we move to the right part of 30, which is 35, it gets visited. Now finally we backtrack and go to the root, which is 50 of this subtree. So after 50, the right part, which is 65, gets visited in the right subtree. After 65, 65 does not have any left part, so the right part gets visited after, which is 80, 80 gets visited, and then we move to the left part, which is 75, 75 gets visited. As it has no other right part, we backtrack and move to the root, and then we go to the right part, which is the right subtree. In this right subtree, we could see that 150 is the root, so 150 gets visited. After that, we move to the left part of it, so after that 130 gets visited. Then 130's left part is 105, 105 gets visited. 105 does not have any left side, so it would go to the right part, which is 110, 110 gets visited. Then we backtrack to 150, and 150's right side is 180, so 180 is the root now, 180 gets visited. After 180, it would get to the left side, which is 160, 160 gets visited. Then it would move to the right side, which is 200, 200 gets visited. This is how the pre-order traversal works: root, left, and right. Thank you all.
Now I'm going to discuss about in-order traversal. In in-order traversal, at first the left subtree is visited, then the root is visited, and then finally the right subtree is visited. Now we will see a simulation of how in-order traversal works with the help of this binary tree. The traversal starts from the root, which is 100. Then the left subtree of 100 must be visited, so we travel to 50. Then the left subtree of 50 must be visited, so we travel to 40. Then the left subtree of 40 must be visited, so we travel to 30. After this, it tries to travel left again, but the left subtree of 30 is null. So now 30 is printed as it is the parent node here. Then the right subtree of 30 must be visited, so we travel to 35. After this, from 35, it tries to travel left again, but the left subtree of 35 is null. So 35 is printed as it is the parent node here. Then it tries to visit the right subtree of 35, which we can see is also null. Now we can see that all the nodes in the left subtree of 40 are done being traversed. So now we backtrack to 40, and 40 is then printed as it is the parent node here. Then it tries to visit the right subtree of 40, but 40 does not have any right subtree. So now we can see that all the nodes in the left subtree of 50 are done being traversed. So now we backtrack to 50, and then 50 is printed. Then the right subtree of 50 must be visited. So we travel to 65. At 65, we attempt to go left again, but the left subtree is null. So now 65 is printed as it is the parent node here. Then the right subtree of 65 must be visited, so we travel to 80. Then the left subtree of 80 must be visited, so we travel to 75. Then at 75, we attempt to go left again, but the left subtree is null. So now 75 is printed as it is the parent node here. Then we attempt to visit the right subtree of 75, but we can see it's null. Now we can see that the left subtree of 80 is done being visited, so we backtrack to 80, and 80 is then printed as it is the parent node here. We can see now that all the nodes in the left subtree of 100 are done being visited. So we backtrack to 100, and now 100 is printed as it is the parent node here. Then the right subtree of 100 must be visited, so we travel to 150. The remaining nodes of the tree is then traversed until all the nodes are visited and printed respectively. This is how in-order traversal works. Okay, now let's talk about post-order traversal. In post-order traversal, at first the left subtree is visited, then the right subtree is visited, and then finally the root is visited. Let's see a simulation of how it works with this binary tree. The traversal starts from the root, which is 100. Then the left subtree of 100 must be visited, so we travel to 50. Then the left subtree of 50 must be visited, so we travel to 40. Then the left subtree of 40 must be visited, so we travel to 30. From 30, it should have gone left again, but since 30 has no left subtree, the right subtree of 30 is visited, so we travel to 35. At 35, it tries to travel left again, but it has no left subtree. Then it tries to go right, however, it also has no right subtree. So 35 is printed as it is the parent node here. Since both the left and right subtrees of 30 are visited, we backtrack and print 30 as it is the parent node here. Now we can see that the nodes in the left subtree of 40 are done being visited. So we backtrack to 40, and after this it tries to travel to its right subtree. But 40 doesn't have any right subtree. So now 40 is printed as it is the parent node here. Now we can see that the left subtree of 50 is done being traversed. So we backtrack to 50, and now the right subtree of 50 must be visited. So we travel to 65. After this it tries to visit the left subtree of 65. But the left subtree of 65 is not present. So now the right subtree of 65 is visited. So we travel to 80. Then the left subtree of 80 must be visited. So we travel to 75. After this it tries to travel to the left subtree of 75. But 75 doesn't have any left subtree. Then it tries to visit the right subtree of 75, which you can see is also not present. So now 75 is printed as it is the parent node here. Now we can see that the left subtree of 80 is done being visited. So we backtrack to 80, and now it tries to visit the right subtree of 80. But 80 doesn't have any right subtree. So now 80 is printed as it is the parent node here. Now we backtrack to 65. As both the left subtree and right subtree of 65 are done being visited, so now 65 is printed as it is the parent node here. Now we backtrack to 50. As both the left subtree and right subtree of 50 are done being visited, so now 50 is printed as it is the parent node here. Now we can see that all the nodes in the left subtree of 100 are done being traversed. So now we backtrack to 100 and visit its right subtree. So we travel to 150. Then in a similar pattern, the remaining part of the tree is traversed and the respective nodes are printed. Now we can see that both the left and right subtrees of 100 are done being traversed. So now the root is printed, which is 100. We can see all the nodes are successfully traversed using post-order traversal, and this is how it works. Thank you.